Hi YouTube, I'm Tammy K. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are painting something very light and fluffy, doing the flowers, but we're gonna do something like this. So it's a small mini composition with some really light flowers, some Christmas berries. So we've got the holiday theme as well as continuing with the floral themes that I always like to paint with. And I wanted to remind you that my watercolor floral class, my course, is coming out very, very soon. And it's going to have over 8 hours of videos and instruction, practice exercises, lots of compositions, and encouragement to let go of perfectionism, be more into self-care, and just enjoy the process. And if you get on the wait list, which is linked below, you're gonna get a really big discount. So make sure to do that if you haven't done it already, and let's get painting. So we are going to be starting with our florals in just a moment. We're spraying down our palette. I've got different brushes here, but I'm probably going to use my #1 quill as well as my #6 round, and these are both samples from my brush collection, which will be coming out at some point. I'll let you guys know when that happens. So we're going to start by just kind of marking in where we want to put the centers of our flowers. So I'm going to put one right here, then one right over here, and then over here, I'm gonna have a flower somewhere around there, but you won't really see the center. So I'm gonna take this guy here. If we're doing white flowers, honestly, you just gotta take some really light paint and, gray. Sometimes people use gray. It's kind of grayish, pinkish, but really just a very light amount, okay? And then use more water if you need to. And then we're just gonna start putting in our petals right there. It's very watery. I'm going to do my center later. I've already marked where my center goes, so I'm not too worried about not doing the center first. If you've seen my videos, I like to do the centers first sometime, but sometimes I change it up, guys. Keep it interesting. And then we'll do another one right about here. Okay. A little bit wider petal right there. Maybe a little bit extra here. And then I'm just looking at my reference here. I'll show you guys in a second. And then we're going to paint one that kind of comes out like this too. Just like that. That first layer, so don't worry too much about it. We'll put another petal out here. A little bit lighter. It's kind of underneath the flower. And then one more here in between. So once we do our layers, we can start filling it out more if we'd like. Now I've got a center here, and I'm going to start again the same process, painting kind of a wider petal, and it goes back in this way. And then over here, a little bit wider there. Just let your brush wiggle and be wonky. In fact, I might make this a little bit wonkier too, just like that. Sometimes we get really rigid with our petals. I have to remind myself, no, it's okay to be loose and allow that paintbrush to move naturally. I hold it towards the middle or even further back, sometimes just to get more of a looseness, less control that way. All right, and then we'll mix up a little bit more of this light color. Over here, we'll put one in. And it's more just that, side facing. So I know these are not white, but I wanted them to be light. Got kind of a peachy color happening here. And so when you don't have white, because white watercolor, well, that's just not going to show up, too transparent, then you can be creative and use different things. You can augment stuff too. You don't have to paint everything exactly like you have in your reference photo. And this is just one I got from Pinterest that I'm using just to give you guys an idea of what I'm going for, giving me inspiration. So I've got those petals down, which is great, marked out. I want to start adding in my leaves. So I like to just grab watery mixes of different paints and just kind of squiggle right here, my brush. And I've got that quill, so you can do those really thin lines as well as the thick one. The quill holds a lot of water, a lot of paint, which is very helpful. Do some petals here. I just like to dance around on the page with the brush. Leave a little white space if you want. I didn't, but you could. And just sort of, skip around and kind of draw out that leaf shape as you're dancing the brush. You can do more of a smooth shape if you'd like I did here. It's really up to you. And then changing up the colors, adding a little bit of blue in there to darken and give it that blue shade. Just like so as well. And I think we're going to do another one right here, curving up. Think loose, think flowy, easygoing. I'm going to skip to the number 6, and we're going to start putting in some smaller shapes. I do want to get my berries in there though before we run out of space. So I'm just kind of going like this with my brush to grab some concentrated paint, scooting this so that I can rest my hand here. And then I'm going to just start adding in some little roundy shapes, leaving a lot of white space in the middle for some really pretty highlights. So I like wonky circles. You can see, just really loose with the brush. I'm holding it far back and then over here. So we're just going up a little bit higher each time to put those berries in. And then we're going to connect things, with the stem, and then we'll see what else we want to start adding in. So I'm going to clean the brush and we'll get a nice brown here. So once we connect it, we can see if we want to add more berries, all right? I probably most absolutely will want to. I'm just going to start from right here and kind of thin mark going all the way up. And then just starting to attach things like this. Curving down, curving up, whatever. And then I'm going to do some right there too, and a few this way. So, and a few other little sticks, little sticky sticks, because you want things to be connected, right? And yeah, you can keep filling it out if you'd like. This is just the fun part. Definitely want to add more berries. So more concentrated paint. I dabbed my brush. Let's do that again. You just don't want petals. And then you can do more around the areas that you've marked out. See, it's a lot easier now. You can even do some circles where you're barely filling it in. Look at that. Look at how fun. All right, and then you can add more sticks as you need to as well. So that got pretty big and pretty intense. All right, bringing that back. Gonna grab some more of my greens. Remembering this is supposed to be a Christmas painting. We're just gonna go like this and just press down with the belly. And now you've got a beautiful branch of leaves that's just looking so nice and loose. So pressing down, using the belly to do all the work for you. Then you can come back in later and connect things. Just go like this. Gets a little awkward when you're holding it like this. Connect it with a stem. One more, boop. Little tiny guy. But very easy way, using the belly of the brush to let it work for you. There we are. And connecting everything just so nicely. So remember to relax. If you're feeling stressed in any way, this is supposed to be fun and exciting, not stressful. If it's stressful, sometimes you just gotta walk away. And that's okay to do, knowing where your limits are and when it's time to practice them. Setting yourself your little boundaries, right? Like, oh, I don't love this, or I don't love how I'm feeling tense. Let me just stop right now and do something else. So now we can put some stems on these too. Very loose. wonky, as I say. I'm curious what your holiday plans are. Holiday. And if you're excited about something special you're doing, are you going on a trip? Let me know in comments. I'm excited to hear what people are up to. All right, so we're gonna leave that there for now, except, just kidding, I do want to do something with this. I'm going to take that same dark paint and press down, start to fill this in because that's just bugging me. It doesn't look good. It needs to be filled in. And then we can put some more right here too. I love the contrast between the pink right there and the dark green. I think that's looking really nice. Okay, so we're gonna do some just jazzing up these petals here. And so we're gonna go with some a little bit darker color of what we already had. And I was grabbing stuff from here, this part here, so I'm just gonna do that now. And I'm trying to think about if I want to use this brush or a large one. I'm going to use a large one. Okay, that didn't take long. I was like, I'm not sure. Oh wait, I am. So within this, I just want to make things a little bit darker in some areas. So I'm just pressing down, really making some delicate flowers here. Hopefully it's all dry. If it isn't, you can go ahead and stop what you're doing, dry it off, and then, or wait for it to dry, and then come back. But we just want to put in some extra details to make it really fun. This one's a little bit more pinky. Let's see. And so I like to use the side of the brush to create some thicker marks. And this is just to bring in some texture and some shadow to your flowers to make them pop off the page and make them pretty. Sometimes we like to just put in a whole bunch of color like there. And other times we just like to do a little bit like right here. And then this one, I want to make it different than these. So I'm going to bring in more pink, maybe a little bit of purple, a little bit darker, a little bit different. They don't look the same, like the same petals or the same flower. All right, and we're just using our intuition to put those marks down really quickly, dabbing, and all the things. All right, this one is looking kind of dull because I wish I had pink like this, but it's good because they're all different. We'll add in our centers and they're just gonna look so fun. All right, so same brush. Within this, I think I'd like to add in some berries. I feel like I've decided that that would be a good idea. So I'm gonna add in just a few, like, dab your brush over here, not like a stem of berries. It was just like some quick, fun, funky shapes. I like how that is. It's very loose, loosey-goosey. And random over here. Yay. So then for this, I do want to add in more foliage. And at this point, I'm going to grab the sap with the same big brush, very concentrated. And I'm just going to press down using the belly, again, this way and that, to intersperse some darker leaves within the composition. But I also want to keep it like I don't want it to look like a box. I want it to just have a bunch of fun, flowy movement. This guy is really tall. I think it needs some foliage as well, just to fill it out. So same, kind of that same sappy color, but it's mixed with other things. Dabbing it, and then just gonna put in some green marks here and there to fill that in a little bit. If it mixes with the red, it's gonna get some brown, so try not to touch the red if it's still wet, but it's okay if you do. No harm done. So next we're gonna add our centers, and I'm really excited about it because this is just what makes everything look so fun and fancy, I think. So I'm gonna grab my Payne's Gray, very dark. It's a nice navy color. And dab my brush. And then we're going to put in our center. So we're gonna start kind of stippling around there. And then we've got the outline, so just a bit of a circle. Then we've got the outline with the pencil where we can then start adding in some little dots around there to fill out this beautiful flower. And don't dip in to the red like I did. Try not to. So I did dry these flowers first so that I could start adding in the center. And yeah, I got some white space in there. I think that's fun. Now she looks so fancy. I love it. Let's do the second one. So stippling in the middle, kind of a circle. I still leave some white space. And then the outside, trying to leave white space between the circle and these little dots if you can. I think that looks good. I work pretty fast, but you know, definitely go at your own pace. I don't want you to feel rushed. I think I do have some space here for a little bit of partial center. You know, it's hiding behind this petal, but we can still put some in. I think that's going to look really nice. And so no matter what you do with your flowers, when you add in your center, like that's where it becomes like so fabulous, and it pops off the page. It ends up looking so nice. I'm going to take my concentrated olive, same brush, and we're going to go in with some veins here. You know me, I like to just do a few of them and keep it varied. Okay, I have to do this one too. Just feel like that's the right thing to do. And I'm thinking, I'm definitely going to do splatter, but I'm just thinking that maybe I want to put in some more leaves around here. I'm liking the shape. This is feeling a little bit like naked, like it's just by itself. So what I'm going to actually do is take, let's take the quill and something kind of like a sap green. It's mixed in, but we're going to do a few more of these. That it just goes up a little bit. Oops, I just hit my phone stand. So, okay, and yes, it's just giving a little bit extra. It's a little bit more boxy, but it's actually fine because we're not going to do the whole space. I just thought it needed a little extra there. So then I'm going to take my brush and connect. And I get really quiet because I have to concentrate. And some of these too. If anything else needs stems, you can do that at this time. Kind of take a look. Okay, so now that everything is put together, for the most part, we got to add some splatter. And, you know, I always think I'm done with a painting, but I'm never really done until I'm done, if that makes sense. So I know when I know. A little bit splatter here in a few little places where there's berries. And I'd say that's it. All right, I hope you enjoyed painting with me. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that you found a sense of relaxation and joy when you painted with me today. Remember to sign up on my waitlist link below if you haven't already. I have over 215 of you at the time of this recording on Wednesday. So if you guys want to get to that, you know where to find the link. Thanks for your support. I'll see you guys soon in the next tutorial.